Been resisting the urge to give this a good clean before we go for a test drive, but perhaps the clean up will be after the test drive, hey? So yeah, massive thanks to Mike for helping me put the door on. Whoa dear, we've got a lot of oil. No, we've got misfire again and we've got an engine management light on again. Hi everyone, welcome back to Chop's Garage, and we're back on the Audi TT. So if you don't know what we're talking about, you need to go back and watch the previous videos, but this is the Audi TT we bought for £400 as a track day toy. And in our last video we took it out and there was a problem with the car either misfiring or the turbo. So the first job we need to do is to work out how serious an issue we've got, because we could have bought a complete pup. As per the previous videos, I pretty much paid for this car and bought it before even checking, even test driving it and checking it out. Right, Volvo's all cleaned again for the third time, ready for pickup, but it's an exciting day today because we're getting all the signage put up. So all those who've been on me for an age, we're getting the old sign up there, CG Cars. We're getting a sign on the road outside. We're getting a banner inside. I think the banner's coming a little bit later. I think there's been a delay in that. And I think we had a door sign coming. I can't remember for sure or not. So my friend came by to look at the car the other day and said, I can't believe you run a business with signing a little plastic sleeve on the window. Now, before we start getting back to playing with the Audi, which I'm not actually putting up for sale, so I'm not going to be making any money out of it, I have had a message from a subscriber, got hold of me via Instagram, which is how I always tell you to get hold of me if you want to offer me one of your cars for sale, and they've offered me a cash car. Now, we know the public love a cash car, so sounds like it's a good option because I am getting short on stock at the moment. But obviously, before I even consider making any kind of an offer on a car, I'm going to do my checks, which means we'll be using today's sponsor, Car Vertical. Those who don't know, Car Vertical has the largest online database of used car information, and it also has 7 million points of data within that database. So we simply need to pop in the reg and let Car Vertical do its thing. So it's found the cash car okay, so we can do the full report. So it's now going through that database to find out anything about that vehicle it can. We'll not only be checking the UK, but it'll be checking all over the world. That ensures it'll pick up on any issues with vehicles that have been exported and brought back into the country. So Car Vertical's done its thing. I can view the report. And it's looking promising. Has no issue with the mileage, has no issue with theft, no issue with accident, no issue with finance. Has its spotted activity report, tells us things like when it went in for MOT and what it failed for. Anything regarding recalls on the vehicle. See, with the stolen vehicle check, it's checked outside of the UK as well. Mileage report looks great. It's a nice, gradual line. That all makes sense. There's no big dips or peaks on that. No report of any damage that's gone through an insurance claim. Again, that's checked in multiple countries. Confirming the spec of the vehicle, the road tax, and a checklist of things that are very common on that vehicle. So it looks like, thanks to Car Vertical, we know that vehicle is worth continuing to negotiate on. Now, we're lucky our subscriber's selling us a good, honest car there, but when members of the public don't have to legally declare whether a car has been written off in the past or not, you need to be incredibly careful when you're buying a vehicle. Look at this one, for example. VW Golf comes back as having accidents. Scrolling down through the report to the damage section, we can see that Car Vertical was picked up that the vehicle was written off in March 2019 as a Cat S write-off, meaning it was structurally damaged. It gives detail of which parts of the vehicle were damaged. And if we scroll further down, it will even show us pictures of the damage, because Car Vertical is very clever and will go out and pull data from all over, including salvage market websites. So look at the damage on that Golf. You could well easily buy that vehicle without having any idea that that was its past. You can see there how vital a report it is to have a Car Vertical check on any used vehicle purchase you might be making. In fact, did you check the last vehicle you purchased? Well, good news is with Chops Garage, you get a massive discount on your next car vertical report. The link is in the description down below. And I'd like to thank Car Vertical for being a continued sponsor of Chops Garage. And now we source ourselves a nice piece of new stock. Let's crack on with that Audi. So we have the trusty TOPDON on the go, the 800 BT. Got it all plugged in. We're going to do a scan and find out what we can about this code that's popped up. So we're going to run a health report, and we're still going to find out whether I'm right and it's a misfire code, or it's what I initially thought, which was that it was a turbo boost issue. I'm pretty convinced it's a misfire code, and I'm really hoping it's just a coil pack. So health report's already starting to pitch some bits up. It's got 4 on engine electronics. Also got some bits here for airbag. You always have airbag codes in old cars. Instrument cluster, we will see what it is in a minute. Instrument cluster, we know we've got a fault with that. It's breaking up, isn't it? All-wheel drive electronics, it's got a fault for that. 12 for the central locking system. This all indicates a low battery. Remember, this the battery ran completely flat on this because I left the keys in it over a weekend, didn't I? So the battery ran flat. So we're going to have to clear all the codes and run it again to get an accurate one. But I think we'll definitely look at the engine electronics one, because that one is going to still probably have the fault we're looking for in it. It's completely checked. Like I say, I've got lots there which I think are relating to, oh yes, misfire, random multiple cylinder misfire 3, 4, power supply voltage too low. Well, that's going to be from the initial battery issue. So cylinder 3 and 4 misfires is the issue. So I need to have a look at the coil packs potentially. Hopefully it's something as simple as that. Unfortunately, if it was one cylinder, we could just swap the coil pack between 2 and find out what the score is. Mind you, I could put the coil packs from 1 and 2 onto 3 and 4 and then see if the fault follows it. That's probably the most logical thing to do first. So if we put the coil packs from 3 and 4 onto cylinders 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 onto 3 and 4, and the misfire still comes up as 3 and 4, then we should have a look at the spark plugs, or potentially the wiring to 3 and 4. If it then moves to 1 and 2, we know we just got bad coil packs. But so it is a misfire, it's not the turbo. So I was barking up the right tree for that after getting it wrong the first time, but we'll forget that. Anyway, what I'm going to do first is just clear all of these codes, because a lot of them say relate to the battery. And then what I'm going to do is run it again and see how many things like the airbag and the all-wheel drive and all that kind of thing come back. So definitely a case of someone's been here before, because the all the coil pack connectors are zip tied on, like someone's broken them before. So I've got to get these zip ties off. Probably find a better tool than this, and to get the zip ties off before I can start swapping plugs. Quick visual inspection of the plugs. They seem okay, and the wiring loom. Nothing obvious going on with those. So let's swap the plugs, the coil packs over then. So, damn signs are here to put our signage up. Right, so let's get the plugs out. Oh. Oh dear, we've got a lot of oil. That's our misfire then. That'll be our misfire. Look at the oil on 3 and 4. Look at 1 and 2. A lot of oil on 1 and 2 as well. Gordon Bennett, we've got a lot of oil in this. So why has it got so much oil in there? That is a concern, isn't it? Is it just a leaking rocker cover? It looks like it might be. Look at the amount of oil. Look at the amount of gungy oil down the side there. I think we might have a leaking rocker cover that's then giving us a lot of oil on the spark plug. So that could be a relatively easy fix if the rocker cover doesn't involve. Yeah, the rocker cover shouldn't involve any cam belt stuff, should it? You guys will be a comment down below. How easy a job is this? It is probably something I'll find out. So what I'll do for the moment then is looking at that. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a core pack, so we will swap them over. But what we'll do first is clean all this out and then try putting it back together. Contact cleaner here, and I'm going to basically just, again, I'm sure you guys tell me off, but for initially I'm just going to blast it down there and try and clean the top of the spark plug off. And then I should probably pull the spark plugs as well, actually, shouldn't I? Clean the spark plugs off. They're going to be full of oil, aren't they? Yeah, let's just do that first. So actually what we'll do is we'll clean off the coil packs. I'll keep 2 to that side, 2 to that side, so I remember which were where, and then we'll still swap them over, but I'll actually pull those spark plugs as well and clean the spark plugs off, so we've got a better chance of it running right. So yeah, all I'm using is contact cleaner, just going to spray the end of them. Yes, I know guys, I still haven't got my tripod on the go. Clean these off. Probably do it away from the car so I haven't doused the engine in something that could be possibly flammable. Wow, look at that. How this thing was running as well as it was is a mystery to me. That is absolutely coked in oil. So we'll go through, do all the spark plugs, put them back again. So that's cylinder 3, and that is also absolutely soaked in oil. Cylinder 2 is bad. I think they're all going to be caked because I think this gasket is leaking to all the cylinders. Why? I think the misfire probably would just move around cylinders based on which was getting the most oil into it. So yeah, we'll just carry on, unless cylinder 1's any different, I won't bother showing it to you. We'll just carry on cleaning them, put it back together again, and then take it for a spin. It could be it's been sat for a long time and this has been building up for a long time, and me having cleaned it out, it might take a good, you know, couple of months before the oil gets to a point again where it's that bad it's causing a misfire. So we could get away with it and fix it after the track day, possibly. I think we'll need to monitor it and see what the score is. So that's all the spark plugs cleaned off. To make sure we eliminate the possibility that one of the coil packs has died as a result of all that oil, we're going to put 1 and 2 onto 2 and 3, and then take it from there after replace those zip ties, and see how we get on. So it's all back together. Let's take it for a test drive and see what happens. I mean, there are a few signs here that worry me, like the air mass flow meter. One's got a zip tie on it as well, so there's someone been fiddling around in there. I mean, the car runs really quite well considering there's that much on it. This should transform it. So, and I do think it's probably that rocker cover one. But comment down below, do these let oil past the rings? I would have thought we'd be using a lot of oil if it did that, and I don't know. Where was the oil? Let's have another look. It was half on the stick, that's where it was before, so we'll see after running it for a bit what score is with that. If it's burning oil and it's going to the back of the car, it isn't smoking, is it? So it may well just be sitting there. It looks like it's coming from above and sitting on top of the spark plugs to me. I don't think it's pushing past them, but again, I'm sure you guys are a bit more experienced, so we'll be able to tell them. Hopefully this camera's alright. I can't quite tell in this light if the camera's been working okay or not, because there's such bright sunshine outside. So after cleaning the spark plugs up, we've cleared the codes. There is one left for headlight range control. Not worried about that. But all the stuff for the airbag and all that have gone or cleared for the moment. So next thing is take it for a quick spin, I guess. Boost the baby up and yeah, and see what the score is. We'll leave the TOPDON plugged in so we can read any code that comes up after we get back. Right, let's see if we resolve the problem. Now, if the oil's really bad, presumably it will clog the spark plugs up before the end of our test drive and cause the same problem. If I can get away with driving it for a couple of days, then it's obviously a more gradual, like say, leak down from the rocker cover, I'd guess. Doors open. Right, turn the heater off completely so that that's making noise. Hopefully you can see everything okay. It's all a bit rushed. So what it was doing before, wasn't it? It was sputtering and then not fully boosting. So we're going to put it to the test. Let it warm up a little bit before I start doing full pulls on it. It's baking hot in here, guys, but I'll keep that fan off and the window closed just so you can hear me until I get my mic, which is on its way. Well, I couldn't do that before. That's a better pull. Seeming promising. I think the coil packs are alright. I think it literally is the spark plugs were just absolutely coated in oil. Oh no! No! We've got misfire again and we've got an engine management light on again. We've got the same sputtering. Maybe it has killed a coil pack then. Oh dear. Back to the unit. Let's spin around and then go back to the unit. My engine management light's gone again this time. No, it's sputtering again. I reckon maybe, famous last words, maybe one of those coil packs is dead. But if it is, what should have happened is it should have moved from one cylinder to another. Yeah, definitely electrical. Okay, so that wasn't solved. Running the TOPDON again. We've got engine electronics again. We'll let it run the rest of the check, but I imagine this is going to come up potentially with coil packs again. Right, let's have a look at the codes. Random multiple misfire detected, cylinder 1 misfire. So that coil pack we did move from 3 to 1, and 3 was a misfire last time. I think what we might have to do though is just pull the plugs again and double check how much oil is on the plugs right now. If they're oiled straight up again, you know, this is probably scrap, to be honest. To be perfectly frank, the car's probably scrap. If the spark plug is, I mean, I guess it does depend how much oil was sitting inside the cylinders initially. I guess I haven't allowed for that. I should have probably driven a bit further, try to burn off all the oil, because presumably there's a lot of oil sitting on top of the pistons. Well, you'd think that would have been burned up from the runs before. So yeah, we need to pull cylinder 1, check the spark plug, see how much oil it's got on it. If it's clear of oil, it could be the spark plug itself. It could still be the coil pack. I think, to be honest, if it hasn't got a load of oil on it, and I'm confident the oil is something that's gradually happening, new set of spark plugs first before new coil packs maybe, and see how we get on, because the coil packs will be more expensive. Comment down below, is that, you mechanic guys, you know, the guys know what you're talking about, is that a logical thing to do, spark plugs first for the coil packs? But we have cut down the amount of misfires. Right, so I've got home and the car's doing something completely differently this time. So what it's doing now is it's kind of sputtering all the time. When you try and give it any hard acceleration, if you're gentle, it's okay. I ran the codes again and it came back as cylinder 1 again. It came back as multiple misfire cylinder 1. So what I've done now is I have swapped the coil pack from cylinder 1 to cylinder 2 and cylinder 2 to cylinder 1, like we did when we did 3 and 4 to 1 and 2, so that again we can see whether it follows it across, because it may be that after cleaning up all the plugs, cleaning up all the coil packs, that we have a problem still with one of the coil packs. So by swapping 2 to 1 and 1 to 2, it'll either misfire will either follow to number 2 or it will stay on number 1. If it stays on number 1, likelihood is the spark plug in number 1 is a load of old rubbish and has been damaged by being in oil all the time. So then we'll change the spark plug instead. That kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do now is clear the codes so that when I drive into work tomorrow morning and boot it and see if I get the same thing happening, if it follows it to number 2 rather than number 1. So again, you know, the thing with this is it's not hard to do. It's taking a couple of minutes every time to change them over. Garage wise, you know, diagnostics, diagnosing this problem, you may be an hour or 2 into labour, so you'll be like 100 quid, 50 to 100 quid on that, and then there'll be probably some charge for the code reading and clearing. It could be an easy 150 quid into this, and then if you have to replace coil packs and spark plugs, you'll be another 50 quid in it, so you're easy 200 quid into it. If we can solve this by replacing 1 coil pack or 1 spark plug, it'll cost us a tenner. So yeah, yet again, having a TOPDON around is going to save me cash, and there is obviously a great deal of satisfaction if I can solve this myself. I can take a cheap old banger like this that was binned off for a banged up door and for running badly, and turn it into a perfectly usable little sports car for peanuts. There's going to be a great deal of satisfaction in that. Look at this, guys, getting serious now. Proper signage on the go. Lots more to come. We've got some banners to go inside. We've got stickers on the way. So I'll be showing you all of that as it comes in. Right, we've got some brilliant news because the misfire, I'm back in this morning having driven it home back last night, the misfire has followed that coil pack to cylinder 2. So we now know that it's the coil pack that needs replacing, not the spark plugs or potentially anything else. So once we get that coil pack in, we're good to go. Unfortunately, I don't think I can get the coil pack till Monday, so that's a bit of a shame, but that's pleasing that that diagnosis has worked. So I left everything off the last time, so what I need to do is come along. I will put zip ties back on these, but obviously didn't want to do that until I knew I had the right one. So I left everything off so I could simply come and take this out, and I probably will leave it off. Only a little bit of oil on the bottom there, so it does seem that the oil that was getting through, I'm pretty confident it's coming off this rocker cover gasket, and it's a very gradual leak, and it's just been allowed to build up over a long period of time. So obviously the solution to that is to unbolt the rocker cover and reseal it again, which we'll do at some point, but not until we know the car's all sorted mechanically. It's not a pressing thing to do that right now. Right, so new coil pack in. Make sure it's seated nicely. I did get 1 spark plug just in case. We needed to fault find with that, and so I've saved the money on spark plugs because I only got the 1. I say we do need to zip tie those on to make sure they don't work their way back or anything. Now it's time to go for a test drive, clear the code and go for a test drive. So out for a test drive in the TT after replacing that coil pack and clearing the codes. I haven't been brave enough to accelerate hard yet. It's got to be the coil pack, isn't it? If it's followed it to the cylinder, it's got to be a coil pack. Can't be the wiring loom because it wouldn't follow it to that cylinder. It can't be the ECU because it wouldn't follow it to a cylinder. It would remain just a general fault. It can't be the spark plug because it followed it to that cylinder. So this has to be the solution, doesn't it? It's got to be the solution for the misfire. Let's wait till we're on the faster section of road and we'll try it out. But if this is fixed, I'm going to be a very happy bunny. If it's not fixed, I have no idea where to go next. I will have to definitely hand over to those that are in the know. The stepway go by, I'd like one of them in stock at the moment. There's a lot of people asking for small little soft roaders with the low road tax. I fixed something. I've only gone and done it. I've only gone and fixed something that goes like a bat out of hell. Yes! Game on. This is what I love about doing this for a living. Yes, there's the downs, but when you actually fix something, other than that, this thing has no other codes in it. It's got one for central locking, which I think is probably doing me replacing the door, and one something around the headlights, but the rest of it's all clear. Four-wheel drive system, everything's all clear. What a result, guys! What a result! Massive thanks to TOPDON again for the unit. Entirely down to that, the way I've been able to diagnose this. I guess you'd be guessing all the way through. And again, yeah, you think about it, on a £400 car, yes, the more guys. You think about it, on a £400 car, yes, the more guys would have looked after me. They wouldn't charge me a lot of money, but they couldn't have charged me less than 100 quid, could they, really, to do that job? And on a £400 car, that's 25% of the value of the vehicle. So, you know, Austin's going to be so chuffed. He's going to be so chuffed. What do we reckon it's probably worth now? You know, with the door on it, cleaned up, tidied up, with it firing like it should, and an MOT, good long MOT on it. It's got to be a £1,000 car all day long, hasn't it? Well, obviously I wouldn't be selling it with any kind of warranties. You can't at this age, but let's give it another pull. Just that's 6th gear. It's accelerating super cleanly. Oh, I'm so chuffed, guys. I'm so chuffed. I know it's a super cheap car and it's silly that someone should be so happy about diagnosing a bloody coil pack, but you know, every day's a learning day. And in the past I would have just thrown a set of spark plugs at it, thrown a set of coil packs at it, and played part darts and not been aware, let's spin it round, of what I did that actually solved the problem. So obviously at a point like this as well, I have to give massive thanks out to everyone that always gives their advice and helps me out with problems like this. And also, of course, massive thanks to my customers and to you guys watching the channel that support me and allow me to be able to do this. Look at that. Do this for a living and come in and not feel like I'm working any day of the week. Just feel like I'm having fun. So before I get too daft and overexcited, I'll probably end the video there. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for the support as always. Please do hit that subscribe button down below if you're not subscribed. It does help support the channel, and I promise you I will have a mic on the next one. Now, one thing I must do before I go any further with this TT is I've been pretty damn naughty. I haven't actually done a car vertical on this yet. I know nothing about its history, so we better crack on and do that.